Hello, Mrs. Jordan.
Well, hello, Mrs. Magrin.
All right, so today's your observation after your lesson, what was your takeaway, or how did you feel it went after planning for it?
Let's see. It went like I thought it would go. It's a whole group lesson, so I'm not. What's the word I'm gonna say? I'm not assessing or teaching I'm not differentiating specifically, but it does meet all levels because we talk about the different ways of counting. Counting by ones, or seeing a small group of dots and supertizing and counting on to the next.
Right.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
And so what is one thing that you think that you would want to do differently next time, or if there is anything that you would want to?
Well, I want to figure out a way to, and we talked about this last time, to have them record how they are counting it, because it is difficult when I do this to say, okay, do this if that person counted the way you did, because they'll do it to this person, they'll do it to the next person because they're kindergartners. Not all of them, but a lot do, or they just get mixed up. So I might try next time. I don't know. I just might try them after they count, then to draw the dots and circle how they counted. And I don't know if that'll help me see, did you really count that way, or just
Right. Yes. I mean, it is tough to do that.
It's almost like to assess that, it feels like it has to be one-on-one. But I think they're doing a really good job on helping me make a number sentence out of the counting of the dots.
I mean, you can tell that obviously you've been working on number talks in your classroom. Like, you were able to tell that they already kind of know the procedure. They were able to follow along fairly well, and they were able to vocalize what they were thinking, the ones you called on. So they did really well. The one thing that I was kind of noticing was different than what I've done in the past is, so you did the one number set, your 7.
Right.
And then after they told you how they counted, then you wrote the number sentence along with it. And something that I've done before is, let's say that's my main one, the 7. Then I'll go to 3 or 4 before, like I'll do 1 or 2 before that, and say like just maybe group just 4, or maybe just 3, just symbolize, but without writing a sentence.
So you would show them 4 dots?
Yes.
Just the 4?
Just the 4, because I kind of want to see like you at the end. I think one of I forgot who it was.
Yes.
He said I 4.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of like my goal, and it took some, like, eventually Jenny would come in and help me with that, but I would start off with maybe just 2, right, the number 2, just 2 or 3, and then 4, and just kind of break it apart, or see who was seeing 2 and 2, like the first one did, like Daniel did,
right,
or they can see 4 automatically, and then kind of take it from there to the 7, but without writing a number sentence with any of those until the 7, like you did.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Almost like activating, like you're almost leading them in a way, like that's where you want them to go.
Right.
So it's interesting to see how much conversation happened from that one number sentence, or from that one number.
Right.
Because usually, it doesn't feel like it flows that much with me, but I think a lot of it had to do with you circling each one with a different color.
Yes.
And that was really helpful to see, because then they can see it.
Right. That is a different way. Yeah. Oh, okay. So they did it this way.
Right.
Yeah.
But I know, like, sometimes, and Jenny would kind of say, it depends what your goal is. Like, if your goal is, do you want them to see that 4 that way? And if so, then let's push it in there beforehand.
Right.
So they're used to it. And then maybe they'll take that same information and apply it to the next one.
Right.
And it was good to see who's able to do that and who's not. So that was pretty interesting to see. So that might be something that you might want to try.
Yeah, that's an idea. I like that. Yeah. Well, because we do supertizing activities, and quick, like with cards. There's a couple videos we do that have like a 4 and a 3, and I have some kids that can do that, 4, 5, 6, 7. some can't. But that I like that idea to show them first and then see who carries it over.
Right.
Because the ones that are getting it will be able to. The ones that are
Right.
still not ready just won't.
And that's
Yeah.
how she would do it too. She would demonstrate it, but then she wouldn't fixate on that, so she wouldn't do a number sentence. It was just a quick, all right.
For the smaller
Yes.
groups. Did she do like a 4 and then would she then show 3?
Right. Or she would go back to like, yes, so 4 and then maybe a 3, or go back to 4 and 2 and then 2 and 2 and see if they started putting those together.
I see.
And then the 4. But just kind of almost leading them that way with that number, because that's something that we've been working on more, the 1 through 5.
Right.
So kind of using that information and then
Right.
carrying it over. Or if you're working on the 3 and then moving on,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. But that was something that I did like when she did it last year, because I just felt like I was growing on the same type of number, like the 7. Now I would break it into a 5 and a 2 or something. But here, it seemed like in the lesson, you were wanting that 4, like that was the main,
Well,
eventually.
they would get the 4, yeah,
Right.
and then we'd continue. I think we have like 15 different lessons with
Right.
7s, and that 4 is going to crop up a lot more.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But I think it went really well. I really enjoyed it because, like I said, it seems like the culture is set for them to know how to speak during that number talk. They already know what to do. And even having my kids in here, they were able to catch on with a small group of them to see,
Yeah.
oh, I know what they're doing. I'm going to do the same.
yeah, definitely. And what I do each time is I just pick 2 people to speak, and if they haven't picked out what I would like them to, then like I did in this lesson, I said there's another, and then somebody did figure it out. But so that they each have a turn every time, so everyone gets to speak, because I just noticed just the speaking has really helped the kids clarify their thoughts. They've listened to others, and now I have even my ELD kids that don't completely understand English, they're able to explain.
Yes.
So that's
Yeah.
like
Yeah, they did a really, I thought they did a really good job. So thank you.
Oh,
I
you're
appreciate
welcome.
that.
Anytime.